This message is crucial for the chosen ones. It may be difficult to accept, but it's necessary for your growth. There are people in your life who have hurt you repeatedly without hesitation, and now they expect your forgiveness as if it's something they are entitled to. But forgiveness is not something you owe them. It's time to see the situation for what it is and recognize the power you have to move forward with clarity and strength. You've felt it, haven't you? The sting of someone close to you, someone you trusted deeply, taking advantage of your heart over and over again. Maybe it was a parent who never understood your soul. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed your trust, or a partner who constantly broke promises. No matter who they are, their actions have left scars on your spirit. Each time they inflicted hurt, they did so without a second thought, believing that you would always be there to pick up the pieces. It's a pattern, one that's become too familiar. You forgive, and they wound again. The cycle of hurt continues, and with each round, you've lost a little more of yourself. You've questioned whether you should keep forgiving, keep being the one to fix things. But here's the truth. Chosen one, they've been taking your kindness for granted. They've seen your willingness to forgive as a weakness, when in fact it's your strength. They have mistaken your grace for submission. Think back to the times they've come to you after hurting you. They always had an excuse, didn't they? Maybe they didn't mean to. Maybe it wasn't their fault. Maybe they were going through something. But no matter what, the hurt kept coming. You've been a safe space for them to dump their chaos, a beacon of light that they could return to, no matter how many times they left you in darkness. What they fail to realize is that your light is not endless. You are not an eternal well of forgiveness for those who refuse to change. You've tried to see the best in them. You've hoped they would one day rise to the level of the love you've shown them. But it never happens, does it? Instead, they've relied on your forgiving nature, knowing that you would always give them another chance. But where has that left you? Sometimes the pain they've caused is subtle, small cuts that seem insignificant at first but slowly accumulate into deep wounds. These are the moments that haunt you in quiet times, the words that replay in your mind when you're alone. They have a way of brushing off their behavior, making you feel as though you're overreacting or being too sensitive. But remember, chosen one, it's not the size of the hurt that matters. It's the fact that it's happened repeatedly, without remorse. They've turned your forgiveness into an expectation, and that in itself is a betrayal. What's even more painful is that you've likely tried to explain this hurt to them, only to be met with defensiveness or denial. They minimize your feelings, convincing you that you're imagining things or that the situation isn't as bad as you think. But deep down, you know the truth. You've felt the emotional toll their actions have taken on you. It's not in your head. The wounds are real, and it's time to stop letting them convince you otherwise. They've grown comfortable in your compassion. They've taken advantage of your desire to heal others, using your empathy as a crutch to avoid facing their own shadows. They think that because you've forgiven them before, it will always be that way. They're wrong. It's time to recognize the repeated hurt for what it is, a pattern, a cycle that benefits them and drains you. It's time to understand that this is not a reflection of your worth, but of their inability to respect you. They've been comfortable in the chaos they've created because they've never had to face the consequences. But that ends today, chosen one. Today you begin to see the truth. You've given enough of yourself to people who only know how to take. You've forgiven enough times for wounds that were never supposed to be inflicted. Now it's time to shift your focus. It's time to recognize that your heart is too valuable to be mishandled by those who don't cherish it. The deeper you look into this cycle, the clearer it becomes. Their behavior has been intentional. They never hesitated to hurt you when it was convenient for them. When it served their needs, they didn't think twice about causing you pain. But now, when the tables have turned and they stand in need of your grace, they expect forgiveness to flow freely, as if it's something you owe them. This, chosen one, is manipulation. They've known all along how much you value peace. They've seen how deeply you care for others, how you seek harmony and healing in every situation. And they've used that against you. Each time they hurt you, They counted on your compassion to smooth things over. They relied on your forgiving nature as a shield, a way to avoid accountability. They assumed that no matter how much damage they caused, you would always be there to forgive and forget. Think about it. When they hurt you, did they ever truly apologize? Or did they simply expect you to move on, as if their actions were a minor inconvenience? Did they ever try to make things right? Or did they assume that time would heal the wounds they created without any effort on their part? They have been counting on your forgiveness to maintain the status quo, and each time you forgave them, they felt a sense of power, a sense of control over you. This is the trap, chosen one. They've convinced themselves that your forgiveness is a given, that no matter what they do, you will always come back. It's a cycle of manipulation, designed to keep you in a place where they can continue to hurt you without facing the consequences. They feel empowered by the past, by the times you've let their transgressions slide. They see your grace as permission to continue their toxic behavior. But it's not just about the power they hold over you. It's about the control they have over themselves. By expecting your forgiveness, they avoid facing their own guilt. They don't have to confront the pain they've caused because they believe you will always be there to forgive them, to absolve them of their wrongdoing. It's easier for them to keep repeating the same harmful patterns than to do the work of healing themselves. And this, chosen one, is where you have the power. You are not obligated to continue this cycle. You are not required to forgive someone who has shown no intention of changing. Forgiveness is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for those who refuse to take responsibility for their actions. It is not something that can be demanded or expected. It must be earned. So ask yourself, are they truly seeking forgiveness? Or are they simply trying to avoid the consequences of their actions? Are they sorry for the pain they've caused? Or are they sorry that they've been caught? Do they want to heal the relationship? Or do they just want to continue using you as a crutch for their own unresolved issues? The answers lie within you, chosen one. You know the truth. You know when someone is manipulating your kindness for their own gain, and it's time to stop allowing it. You deserve more than to be caught in this cycle of hurt and forgiveness. You deserve to be free. Chosen one, you're not here by accident. You found your home. The Obsidian Inner Order, created in partnership with Astral Atom, was made for those like you, those who walk in power, those who see beyond the surface, those who know they are destined for something greater. You've been seeking, but the search is over. This is where you belong, among other chosen ones who are already rising above the noise and ascending to levels others can only dream of. We don't waste time with fluffy promises or watered-down teachings. In the Inner Order, you get access to the raw, uncensored truth, the kind of knowledge they don't want you to have. We're cutting through the crap to give you the secrets no one else will. Exclusive insights from the #1 Guide to Manifesting Your Dream Life, Modern Manifestation Mechanics. This isn't some rehashed nonsense. We're giving you what you need to ascend faster than ever, because you deserve nothing less. If you're tired of playing small, then this is your path to breaking through. And let's not forget, you won't be walking this path alone. The Inner Order is a community of the brightest, most powerful souls, people just like you, chosen ones who refuse to be kept in the shadows. You'll be connecting with others who understand the depth of your purpose and the magnitude of your power. Here, your voice matters, your energy matters, and you're not just part of a community. You're part of a movement that's rising, unshakable. But there's more. You'll get direct access to the creators behind both Astral Atom and Obsidian, with exclusive, uncensored content that we can't put on YouTube. This is your chance to connect with those who are leading the charge and be part of something that goes beyond anything the algorithm can suppress. The link to join is in the description. Step into the Inner Order and claim the power that's been waiting for you. Together we rise, and the forces trying to hold you back, they'll tremble. Let's dive deeper into why they feel entitled to your forgiveness. At the core of their behavior is their own unresolved pain. Whether it's trauma from their past, feelings of rejection, or a deep sense of unworthiness, they carry wounds that they have never healed. And instead of doing the inner work necessary to confront their pain, they project it onto others, onto you. They see your light, your compassion, and it threatens them. You represent everything they wish they could be, whole, empathetic, and strong. But instead of rising to meet you at that level, they drag you down into their chaos. It's easier for them to cause harm than to face the pain they carry inside. They hurt you because they don't know how to heal themselves. This is why they expect forgiveness. Deep down, they are seeking validation. They want you to tell them that their behavior is acceptable, that their wounds justify their actions. They want you to absolve them of their guilt so that they don't have to do the hard work of facing their own darkness. By forgiving them, they feel a temporary relief, a sense that they are not as broken as they truly are. But here's the truth. Their pain is not your responsibility. You didn't cause it, and you cannot heal it. No amount of forgiveness will fill the void inside them. No matter how many times you offer them grace, they will continue to hurt you as long as they refuse to heal themselves. This is why the cycle continues. They are trapped in their own patterns of hurt, and they expect you to be their escape. You, however, are not their savior. You are not responsible for carrying their burdens, especially not at the cost of your own peace. They may have experienced rejection, trauma, or abandonment in the past, but that does not give them the right to hurt you. Their wounds do not justify their actions. It's important to understand their mindset, but it's even more important to recognize that understanding does not equal acceptance. You can have empathy for their pain without allowing them to continue causing harm. You can see their brokenness without letting it break you. Often their sense of entitlement to your forgiveness is rooted in a deep-seated fear of abandonment. They fear losing you, not because they value your presence in a healthy way, but because they are terrified of facing their own emotional void without the comfort of your forgiveness. Your consistent compassion has become their lifeline, a bandage for wounds they refuse to heal. They cling to your empathy because they know that without it, they are forced to confront the dark corners of their soul, corners they've been avoiding for far too long. This isn't just about you, it's about everyone they've ever hurt. The cycle of projection and emotional vampirism they engage in is likely something they've repeated with others in their life. They've built a fortress of avoidance, using the forgiveness of others to maintain a false sense of security. But now, you see through it. You understand that their entitlement to forgiveness isn't about true healing or connection. It's about them trying to control the narrative, to stay in power, to avoid the reckoning with themselves that is long overdue. As a chosen one, you are called to rise above their chaos. You are here to heal yourself, to protect your energy, and to recognize when someone is using their pain as an excuse to mistreat you. Their unresolved trauma is not your responsibility, and their entitlement to forgiveness is rooted in their own inability to face their truth. Boundaries, chosen one, are not just about protecting yourself, they're about reclaiming your power. You have the right to set limits with those who have continuously taken advantage of your forgiving nature. You have the right to decide who has access to your heart, your energy, and your spirit. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't care. In fact, boundaries are the ultimate act of self-love. They are a declaration that your peace, your well-being, and your growth are worth protecting. And as a chosen one, you are called to protect your energy fiercely. Setting boundaries is an acknowledgement of your value. For too long, the people who have hurt you relied on the fact that you would always forgive, that you would always come back. But it's time to show them, and yourself, that your heart is not a revolving door for their destructive patterns. You are not here to be someone's emotional punching bag, and you are not obligated to give anyone endless chances at the cost of your own well-being. The first step in setting these boundaries is recognizing your worth. You have a compassionate heart, yes, but that doesn't mean you deserve to be taken advantage of. You are a healer, but you cannot heal those who refuse to take responsibility for their own actions. You can love deeply, but that doesn't mean sacrificing your peace for the sake of someone else's chaos. Setting boundaries is about choosing yourself, about standing firm in the knowledge that your energy is precious. Boundaries also mean being clear about what you will and will not accept. They've grown comfortable with the idea that you will forgive them endlessly, But now it's time to draw the line. It's time to tell them, I forgive you, but I will no longer allow you to hurt me. And if they can't respect that, then they don't deserve a place in your life. Because forgiveness does not mean returning to the same situation that caused you pain in the first place. Understand this, chosen one. Boundaries are not about keeping people out, but about protecting what is sacred within you. When you set boundaries, you're telling the universe that you value yourself enough to protect your peace. You're telling the people around you that your heart, your soul, and your spirit are not to be trifled with. You are declaring that your compassion has limits, and those limits are rooted in self-respect. But here's where it gets hard. People who have been taking advantage of your forgiving nature won't like your boundaries. They may push back. They may try to guilt you, make you feel like you're abandoning them, or accuse you of being selfish. But don't be swayed by their attempts to manipulate you. Those who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, even if they don't like them. And those who don't, they were never meant to stay in your life anyway. Boundaries also require consistency. You can't set a boundary one day and let it slide the next. The people who have hurt you are counting on your inconsistency, counting on you to waver when they apply pressure. But this is where you need to stand strong, chosen one. You have to be firm in your resolve, clear in your intentions, and unyielding in your protection of your own energy. You deserve relationships that nourish you, that uplift you, that honor the love and light you carry within. And if someone can't respect the boundaries you've set, then they are showing you exactly who they are. It's not your job to fix them. It's your job to protect yourself. Setting boundaries is a powerful act of self-love, and as a chosen one, it's your duty to prioritize your own healing and growth above all else. Forgiveness is a divine gift, chosen one, but it doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean inviting the same toxic behaviors back into your life. Forgiveness is for you. It's about releasing the emotional burden they've placed on your heart. But letting go of the weight doesn't mean opening the door to be hurt again. This is where forgiveness without access comes into play. You can choose to forgive from a distance. You can decide to let go of the pain they've caused, without allowing them to continue their harmful behavior in your life. Forgiving them doesn't mean you have to keep them close. It means you are releasing yourself from the grip of their toxic energy while still protecting your boundaries. There is immense power in forgiving someone without granting them further access to your life. It's an act of self-liberation. You free yourself from the emotional chains that their actions may have placed on you, but you do it on your own terms. You don't need their approval to move forward. You don't need them to validate your forgiveness. You forgive because it heals you, not because they've earned it. And here's the thing. They might not understand this. They may believe that forgiveness means everything goes back to the way it was, that the slate is wiped clean and they're free to return to their old ways. But that's not the case, chosen one. Forgiveness doesn't mean giving them another chance to hurt you. It means closing the chapter on that part of your story and moving forward without them. Forgiving without allowing further abuse is also about reclaiming your power. For too long, they've relied on your forgiveness to escape the consequences of their actions. But now, you are taking back control. You are deciding that your peace is more important than their comfort. And that's a powerful shift. It's you saying, I forgive you, but you no longer have the right to affect my life in the way you once did. This type of forgiveness also disrupts the cycle of abuse. By removing access, you break the pattern that they've grown so accustomed to. They can no longer rely on your forgiving nature to avoid the consequences of their actions. They can no longer manipulate your kindness to continue their harmful behavior. In this way, your forgiveness becomes an act of strength, not weakness. There's also healing in forgiving without reconciliation. You can find peace within yourself, even if the relationship is no longer part of your life. You don't need to maintain ties with someone who has proven time and time again that they don't value you. You don't need to allow them to continue their cycle of hurt in your life just because you've chosen to forgive. Remember, chosen one, forgiveness is about you, your healing, your growth, and your peace. You have the right to protect your energy. You have the right to say, I forgive you, but you can no longer be part of my life. And in doing so, You free yourself from the weight of their actions while ensuring that they cannot repeat the same hurtful patterns. Forgiveness without access is an act of empowerment. It's your way of reclaiming your peace while also setting the boundaries needed to protect your heart moving forward. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. You hold the power. You are stronger than you know. You can forgive, but you also have the right to protect yourself from further pain. Establish those boundaries, reclaim your energy, and never allow anyone, no matter who they are, to trample over your heart again. You deserve more than repeated hurt. You deserve peace, love, and respect. Remember, chosen ones, you are not alone on this journey. We rise together.